In case you didn't know, if you're a flounder fisherman in North Carolina, you're getting screwed. But it's probably not for the reason that you expect me to say. And today, I'm just not here to complain. I'm here to tell you how you can do something to actually help the situation that we're in. First and foremost, so you need to understand how this system works if you want to help. The Department of Marine Fisheries uses something called a catch-at-age model, and it is heavily influenced by the number of fish at each age class in a system. And from a high level, it is really very simple. If flounder live to be 9 years and you don't have any at all 9-year-old fish, it's actually not necessarily a problem. But if you don't have any 4-year-old fish, then there's a very good indicator here that something is wrong. It means that each year of that fish's life, the mortality, the likelihood of them dying is so high that almost none are making it to 5 years of age. Now that you understand this, here's what you can do to help. The Department of Marine Fisheries has something called a carcass collection program. Now, if you think the DMF just doesn't know how to catch fish, I know a lot of commercial folks out there feel that way, and a number of recreational folks feel the same. So here's your chance to prove to them what you're actually catching, that they're somehow missing all of these massive flounder that are out there in this system. The carcass collection program allows recreational fishermen to go and donate the carcass. So you catch your 27, 28-inch flounder, you fillet that bad girl up, and you take the carcass to a carcass collection freezer. There are a number of them located all over the state. I will try to remember to put a link in the description for that, but I'm in a big hurry to get out the door so I can go flounder fishing. If I don't, you can just Google NCDMF carcass collection program. The more big fish you turn into that, the better the results of the stock assessment are going to look. Now, onto our only other important action item of the day, and that is the situation that we are stuck in, where we are trying to recover a stock that is using data from North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida, when North Carolina, even though we had agreements from the other state to take the same reduction, yes, that is correct, all the states have the same stock assessment. It is a coast-wide stock. The other states said that they would take this reduction, and then they did not. So they are quite literally dragging us down. So Steve Poland is a former DMF employee, and Steve, as well as Lee Paramore, another former DMF employee, were able to, I guess, speak a little more frankly. They wrote a letter that they presented to the Marine Fisheries Commission at the last meeting, pointing out that because of this situation, it is quite literally impossible for us to recover this fishery, and it is totally ridiculous that we're stuck in this situation. Now, from a high overview, sort of legal look at it, I don't know exactly what can be done, but I know that it can't hurt for as many people as possible to send an email to the governor of North Carolina and let him know, hey, we need your help. We need you to get with the DEQ secretary. This is our state. We can do, I believe, whatever we want to without getting sued. Considering they didn't meet the reduction that we did, I don't see any reason why we cannot pull out and do our own thing independently. Now, the 1997 Fisheries Reform Act does require us to recover stocks, and I do believe that's important. We should be responsible for future generations. So we are seeing some level of recovery, but we're not where we need to be, and we're not going to get where we need to be if we don't change this with the other states. Final thing for the recreational fishermen out there. So if you look at our dead discards, and this is really, really important, if we have 56,000 pounds of dead discards, the Department of Marine Fisheries calculates each recreational released flounder as 0.2 pounds. Now, I hope they get better data than this in the future, because I'm not sure that I have ever in my life caught a 0.2 pound flounder, except maybe in a cast net. But this actually works in our favor. And if we can't get this stuff changed where we pull out of the other states, this would be another thing that we can sort of leverage. Now, obviously, the best way to prevent dead discards is just not to bump bottom. So 56,000 pounds of dead discards at 0.2 pounds actually requires 2.5 million fish to be caught and released. Now, obviously, the easiest way to address this is just don't bump bottom. So I fish for trout, I fish for redfish, sheepshead, black drum all year. And so far, until flounder season, I managed to only catch one flounder, and he was just begging for it because he came 2-3 feet off the bottom and hit a mirror. But only one flounder with all this fishing. And if you get surveyed by someone from MRIP and you're able to say, I only caught one flounder, and we sort of do this as a community. You stop bumping the bottom. If you're fishing in a situation where you're catching a lot of flounder and you choose to help us out here, it would be great if you just sort of avoid them. And then when you're questioned by MRIP, and please do not just lie and say that you didn't catch any flounder, because that is not going to help the situation. These stock assessments are very complex, and at the end of the day, they will show that there's some kind of a gap, right? So that is not going to help the situation. Avoid the flounder where you can, and don't over-report. So when I first started tagging fish, I noticed that in my mind, I was wildly overestimating the fish that I thought I'd caught that day. I would go out trout fishing, I'd hit the creek, and in my mind, when I got home, and I go to finalize my tags, I'm like, man, I got to fill out so many the rest of the way. You have to put all your coordinates and stuff on there. And I'm thinking like 15, 16 tags are going to take forever. And then it was 11. You know, sometimes it was like 9. And I'm thinking in my head, like I caught at least 14. So try to remember the number exactly, even if you're jotting it down or you're taking a picture and you look back through it. Try to do that accurately. And of course, mandatory reporting. Look, folks, I know you don't like the idea of it, but mandatory reporting is awesome for us. So if there's someone out there doing something nefarious, injecting false data or bad data, people that are going to MRIP surveyors and they're saying they caught 150 flounder every single day, that is really skewing and messing up these numbers, mandatory reporting is the best thing that could ever happen to us, because it can give us control of our numbers. We can actually look at our numbers ourselves, and we provided that data, the first data that no matter what, we can trust it. I just really wish that it was going to be transparent instead of like sort of hidden per angler. And that may be something we reach out to the governor in the future on. Anyways, I got to pack up. I've got to go flounder fishing. Please send the governor an email and let him know that we need to pull out of this deal with these other states, that they are just dragging us down. And from what I've seen of tagging data, there's not a really significant amount of North Carolina flounder that are migrating south anyways. So I don't think there's a huge reason, even from like a responsibility standpoint, that we have to continue to do this in this way. Shoot the governor an email, do not over-report, and take those big bad flounder to a carcass collection cooler. Go to the DMF, what's really going on out there, show them what they're missing. Hey, maybe I need to say this. I just realized, don't kill a giant flounder just to take it to carcass collection. If you were going to let her go anyway. She is very important to the stock. These fish produce so many eggs at that size. Out of here.